All right, we're following news out of Washington, D.C. Senator Rand Paul's office specifically. Police say a staffer was stabbed and seriously injured on Saturday. Now, the 42-year-old Glenn Neal is facing assault charges, and Senator Paul said the staffer was brutally attacked in broad daylight. Now, the victim has not yet been identified, but the suspect reportedly popped out of the corner right before the attack, and the suspect, Neal, remains held without bond. And of course, Bob, Senator Paul, no stranger to attacks. There was that incident several years ago with his neighbor.
Yeah, and Curtis, when it comes to D.C., it's like New York in that it can happen anytime, anywhere. And the thing that always bugs me, a story like this, if the person doesn't die, the mainstream media almost makes it, oh, it was a knife, they got stabbed. No, a knife in the right place kills you pretty quickly.
Oh, no doubt. And first off, it's a very small city.
It is.
Yeah.
Very small, very tiny. It used to be just southeast Anacostia. Oh, that's the bad area.
Right, right.
But the politicos didn't go down there. Now, it can happen anywhere. Ever since Black Lives Matter became big, large mansions with Antifa and rampaged through D.C., that's it. Everybody could be a speed bump. But you know something? Good for them. Let the politicians and their staffers feel what average, everyday people feel. It's a federal city.
You don't mean it's good that somebody was stabbed.
Absolutely. I'm telling you, if our politicians are not under threat, if they don't feel the fear that the rest of us feel, they do nothing.
Do you think Rand Paul is somebody who needs to feel about
I remember
his
him
position
walking around all in the days. Black Lives Matter was around him. Ooh, come on. Let them feel what average, everyday people feel. It's a federal city. And Biden and the federal government permit this to go on. They allow a mayor who doesn't care about the city. They allow a city council that basically is pro-criminal to withhold the money. Yeah. Show me the money. That's how you get their attention.
Did anybody ever talk to you when you were starting the Guardian Angels about a D.C. chapter?
I have a D.C. chapter. We're on the Metro. And by the way,
I've never seen them on the Metro, and I take the Metro every week.
Well, excuse me, I'll make sure that they're there.
Well, yeah.
I mean,
you're saying it. I mean,
they're on the
you're
Metro.
the one throwing stuff out.
Check the recent reports of all the attacks on the Metro. And by the way, Congresswoman Meng of New York was attacked, remember, in D.C. This is normal. Yeah. So guess what? Politicians and your staffers, regular people have to live with crime. And until you do something about it, why don't you become victims of crime also? I feel nothing for them. Nothing.
Interesting point, Curtis. I mean, you know, Melanie, is this something where until it happens, I will say close to home, literally and figuratively here, that nothing is going to change? We've heard people making that argument at the border as well. Until someone, say, child actually dies from a fentanyl overdose, something absolutely horrible happens, are these problems falling on deaf ears?
I hate to say that it probably is. You know, as to Curtis's point, you know, you go to D.C. and you go to the Capitol. I was recently attending a hearing there, and it's like a fortress there, right? Like you can't get anywhere near that building because there's elected officials there. If you go to just about any state office anywhere, people have panic buttons in case something goes down. Teachers don't have those in the classrooms in case there's a shooting. You have to rely on somebody to call 911. It's a different kind of energy. So, you know, we are protecting, you know, elected officials and people who are considered important more than we're protecting the citizens. And I think that there is a point to that, although I would have to disagree with Curtis that it's a good thing that someone got stabbed. I just have to say that.
I wish they
could get that done without someone being stabbed.
Little kids getting shot in Washington, D.C. every day and killed. Let them feel the pain. Do something about it. Stop gold bricking and giving fancy speeches on C-SPAN about how terrible it is. You control the money for Washington, D.C., then control the city.
For the argument's sake, this is somebody that worked for Rand Paul. I don't think he's considered a liberal, socialist kind of guy.
He's involved in government.
Politicians.
He's involved in government.
Right.
And whoever was stabbed is just working hard, trying to make a living in
Well,
the
guess
government.
what? Welcome to the real world that taxpayers have to deal with each and every day.
All right, and still ahead, I'm going to take a break. We'll talk to a national security expert and former CIA agent about Russia placing nukes, potentially, in nearby Belarus. Should we be concerned? And how concerned? Stay with us.